Hello everybody and welcome here tonight. Good evening everyone watching as the stream just stabilizes again. We're just getting a few issues on our switch around there. Now we're going to be looking at our current session leader in qualifying here. This is Matteo Caruso. So tonight we're racing the MX5s. We're going to be racing around Monza, the entire circuit now. It's the first time that we've actually brought a broadcast of the MX5's Cups in your rookie events, because it's been a while since we brought a rookie event in a broadcast in itself. The last ones being obviously the Abarthe Party. But I actually raced in these Mazdas for a number of weeks. I did stream my POV, but we've realised over the past few months that I have been doing this event that I'm not really the best of drivers, and neither are every single person in here. That's the whole point in the rookie event, is to get involved in online racing, and my word, this is the most amount of new driver names I've ever come across. So it's been a while, like I said, since I've been in a rookie event, and I'm just going to run down all of your new drivers, well, drivers that I've never heard before. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. We have here looking through, we have Lorican Kroos, Jeff Tournier, Andy Dixie, Brian Van Busencom, Nick Lunt, Des Bain, Nuno Rodriguez, Colin Herx, and Fernando Sorato. I think I saw the other day, but that is a lot of names right there. And I do have to apologise. I seem to be having some internet issues whilst we're trying to do this, but hopefully they will be fixed. Now, I always seem to have internet issues when my brother is around, and I'm not going to lie, it's always when he specifically is around. It doesn't matter how many other people are around. If he's around, my internet goes terribly. So if we are having frame drops here and there, I do apologise, and if it gets too bad, then just let me know. So let's see who's here tonight then. Daniel Nito, good evening. Refocus, hello. Casper Hugard, hello as well. Jeremy Brewer, I am not racing tonight. I am going to be commentating. Like I said, it's been a while since I've been in these rookie events, and I know it's supposed to be get straight down in there, but I don't feel too confident in my driving skills as of late. Definitely, as I've been on, I was on Project Cars just a little bit earlier. I know not the greatest of sims, but I love the career mode, which is why I was on it. And I just kept on crashing. So, you know, let's just, let me stay behind the mic and let you guys stay behind the wheel. So, we had, as always with these rookie events, a half-an-hour practice session, a half-an-hour qualifying session, and now we're in, we're now in that half-an-hour qualifying session. And then we have a half-an-hour race session. Now, in this qualifying session, Matteo Caruso, like I said, up at your top at the moment. As I've completely forgotten all controls of how to do anything here. No, it just looks like they're not working. Ah, my numpad isn't on, that's why. That would help. We're going to look at Jeff Tournier then. He comes down up to turn number 1. We're going to ride on board with Tournier, currently in 5th position. He's less than a tenth of a second off of Croce on front, but he gives up with his time almost immediately there. Colin Herx on an outlap, Vinces on an outlap. We're going to look right on board with Rodriguez then. Let's get a nice camera. Here we go. On board with Rodriguez, he is about 0.035, so that is 35 thousandths of a second behind Nick Lan, and he spins at turn number 1. Turn number 1, catching everybody out here. We'll try ride on board with Andy Dixie then. Let's see if third time's a charm. It seems to be whenever I go onto a driver, he makes a mistake. Dixie did get out of that final turn, the first turn though. But most drivers are out on field at the moment. We're still yet to see a time by Ernie Wright and Jeremy Brewer. There's 24 drivers currently in this session. We do have 25 drivers signed up, not including myself as your commentator. Now coming through the second chicane, keeping the speed in, pushing it to the limits. You've got a car that was facing the wrong way. He's got it back straight, but he's going to stay out of the way, heading up towards the Lesmos now. And Dixie gets through nicely. He needs to get an improvement on that time if he wants to get past Demuth, but it is 0.3 of a second up to Demuth. From there, he's only about half a second off of Antonio Vinces, who sits in third. So that could be 4 positions, if he can just gain half a second on his lap time. Let's see if he's able to do that as he heads up now to I want to say Ascari. I don't have the track map up. I'm very unprepared today, and I don't know Monza that well because I absolutely hate the circuit. Coming out of what I believe is Ascari, heading up towards the Parabolica. Yes, I think I'm getting corner names here. I'll get them all wrong, I know. But anyway, heading up, getting past some slow traffic there. I believe that's a car on his outlap. But Dixie currently on a 2:16.878, only 0.3 behind Demuth. He's going to push it wide into the Parabolica as someone else dives up his inside, ruining both of their laps, I believe. Now that's something actually I want to quickly talk about, is we've been talking recently within our staff groups, and I want to get you guys involved in the conversation as well, as to our qualifying ethique. So the way that drivers should run in qualifying. Now that ruined both of their laps. I don't know who dive bombed Dixie up the inside of the Parabolica there, but I feel that if you're behind someone, drop behind going onto your hot lap. Slow down if you know you're going to catch them. Don't just try and overtake them on your time lap as Dixie runs wide there. We'll look at Colin Herx here, currently in 19th position. But yeah, what I'm saying is don't just go for an overtake during qualifying, because it is going to ruin both of your laps. So drop off, back down. Fine, you might lose that lap. You might be on a really good lap, but if you come up behind someone and you can't get past without ruining both your laps, just drop off. Just drop behind, let him get in some space, and then have some free air to go. And I think that's really the way to do it. If you're on an out lap, obviously get the hell out of the way. Make sure drivers are able to get through without running you. If you've spun, make sure you get the hell out of the way if a car catches up to you, because if your lap time's ruined, no need to ruin someone else's. And I think that's a very important, important way of running in qualifying. And I'd like to hear your guys' point of view on whether a way that you should run qualifying. What do you think is the right thing to do? What do you think is the wrong thing to do when you are maybe a faster driver catching up to someone who is slower than you, but they're also on a hot lap? What do you think is the best thing to do? What do you think is fair for all parties involved? I want to listen to what your ideas are behind that, because that would be really nice to get to know. As we're getting into 7 minutes of the qualifying remaining, I'm going to run through your provisional order at the moment. 22 of the 24 drivers have currently put in lap times. You've got Matti Caruzio on pole. And actually, I don't think I've seen Matteo before. When I was running through saying all the new names, I don't think I've seen Matteo before. Continuing through though, Scott Nichols in second. Antonio Vinces in third. Lorcan Crosse, one of the new drivers, in fourth. Jeffrey Tournier. By the way, when I'm saying one of the new drivers, I mean new to me. I've never come across them before because I haven't been in these rookies for a while. Some of them may be rookies to race department. I know there are a lot of new people signing up, and if you've not yet signed up to race in our events, all you have to do is head over to racedepartment.com, become a premium member, which at the moment is only $7.50, I think, in euros. So not at all expensive. It normally is 10 euros, which isn't expensive at all anyway, but at the moment it's on a deal. So now is really your time to become a premium member. You can get involved in all of our club events. We've got league events starting in September. We've got the GT League. We've also got a few league events being planned for the end of the year and the start of next year. We also have the RDLMS, of course, that is running. Our next event in the RDLMS is round 4, and that's at the end of August. That's the final Saturday in August. Thank you, Kazar Weed, for subscribing, and welcome to racedepartment.com. Colin Hurt's continuing around on his lap, and I'm going to go find someone who's just starting a hot lap that I would like to follow. Gaylord Clapano just finished an out lap there, and he's going to head down. We're going to ride on board the dash here with Clapano as he heads towards the first chicane. He is currently on a 217.644. It's about 2 tenths behind Van Bussum in front, and that is a massive, massive mistake heading into the first chicane. Hopefully we won't see too many of those in the race. Of course, if you do that sort of mistake in the race, all the drivers have to do, come off the accelerator, give back all the times and all the positions gained within the mistake, and then continue on. Looking at Des Bain here then, he's just come out of the first chicane. Another new name for me, at least tonight. And he decides he's going to bail on that lap. It just seems whoever I decide to watch is just going to bail. Crosse then, we're going to look at Crosse. He's been able to knock Vinces out of third, and that was his previous lap. And he's less than half a tenth away from Scott Nichols, so this could be second. And I believe that would be 2 new drivers in first and second in the session. Again, just from me, at least they're new. Continuing through now, this long, swooping right-hander as they head down. Good evening, everyone who is watching us. We're about 4 minutes away from getting into the race. In the bottom left-hand side, all of our social media and different channels and ways you can contact us popping up at the bottom. Of course, if you want to find us, all of our forums, head over to racedepartment.com. You can join in all of the conversations. If you're not yet a member, be sure to just sign up. It's absolutely free. If you want to get involved in these race sessions, at the moment it's only €7.50 in euros, so it's absolutely wonderful price at the moment. If you want to get the whole year for just €7.50, fantastic, because we are about 3.5 minutes remaining in the session. We're running on board with Cross as he heads up towards Ascari. And will he be able to improve on his lap? 2:15.835, which I'm actually really surprised about, is only 3 seconds separate the top 18. Now that may sound like a lot of time, but 3 seconds is not a lot, definitely in cars like these, because come the race, I think we're going to get so many battles. It's going to be extremely close and extremely fun. And I can see more people joining us as we head towards the race now. Good evening, everyone. Be sure to say hello in chat. Also, like I said, I would love to hear your ideas on the qualifying critique, as if it were, on how you think a faster driver should react to a slower car in front of them when they're both on hot laps. I'd love to hear what you guys think of that. Matteo Caruso, currently pole sitter, is in the pit lane, but that's safe for him because he is 3 tenths faster than Scott Nichols. Locan Crosse goes on to yet another lap, and here we go. We're going to look on board Vincent. Now, this is what I was saying. This is a faster driver coming up to a slower driver, both on hot laps. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how they both run, how they interact with each other on their qualifying laps, because both of them don't want their times to be ruined. They'll both be pushing to improve. I mean, Vincent is now half a second behind Crosser, who was able to get a really nice clean lap in, get into 3rd position in the session at the moment. And in it being the dying stages, I believe this will be Vincent's last attempt at a lap. He won't want to lose time out sitting behind the car in front of him, who is Serato. And Serato is currently the slowest in the session, 22nd at the moment. We've yet to see a time by Brewer and by Wright. I believe Brewer's still watching the stream. I mean, it looks like he doesn't want to... Okay, that is good for Vincent now. So Serato has run wide on the first Lesmos. That's good for Vincent, but not so good for my conversation. I kind of wanted to see how they would interact with each other, but nothing being able to be seen there. Looks like Serato giving up on his time. Obviously, it being just 1 minute to go in the session means I doubt he'll be able to get in another lap. Vincent's coming up towards Ascari. Now we're going to go back on board as he goes through. 50 seconds goes. He pushes right to the limits of Ascari. Now that's going to be a question. Wobbles the car, but that is a question of track limits. Now we know that Monza is a very easy circuit to abuse track limits. Assetto Corsa is a very easy simulator to abuse track limits, but if you want to follow our rules, which are if you put 2 wheels outside the white lines, you have to slow down, give up the time gained. I believe Vincent's pushed it just over the apex. I'm not too sure whether it would have been counted as a corner cut or a violation of the track limits. I'm not someone to judge that. 15 seconds to go though. Will Vincent be able to get onto another lap? 10 seconds. It's going to be interesting. Will he be able to start another lap as he goes across with 5, 4? I believe he's already crossed the line. I'm not too sure where it is. I don't know, but he's able to get onto another lap nonetheless. So Vincent is our last driver who's going to be putting in a lap time. We're going to stay on board with him, see if he's able to improve. Heading into turn number 1. I thought he was actually going to go way too far there. He just broke really late. Really trying there and did extremely good job. As we go through now the swooping right-hander. As Vincent will be looking to improve. He sits to the right-hand side. That's going to give him the perfect run, the shortest run through that right-hander, but the perfect run. Sticks it on the right-hand side. Now he's going to get a swooping turn into the chicane. Again, really late on the brakes, and this time it's too late on the brakes. Looking at Tariq Gamil, though, he's the next driver along the track. So he is less than a 1/10 of a second off of Andy Dixie. Will he be able to get past Dixie? Not too sure. Gamil in 8th at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see whether he will be able to do that. But coming through now, through the parabolica. Turns it in. He's currently got a 2:16.743. He wants to beat a 2:16.676. Coming up towards the line now. Will it be an improvement in his lap time? Will it be a position gained? No, it will not. As we have reached the end of our session there. Let's get a nice little camera. So that is the end of the qualifying session, and we're going to run through the order with you now. So Matteo Caruso got pole position with a 2:15.413. Scott Nichols got second position, just 1.5 tenths down. He was actually able to improve right near the end to pull a massive gap to Locan Crosse there, who qualified in 3rd. Now, just behind that, though, look how close Antonio Vincas and Tariq Gamil were. They are only 0.04 of a second separating them. That is extremely close, so it might be a really good fight between those two. Jeff Tournier qualified in 6th with Akim Demuth in 7th. Andy Dixie qualified in 8th position with Stig Bistrup and Brian van Busskommen behind. Gaylord Capano qualified just outside top 10 in 11th. Edward Januszewski in 12th. Paul Glover in 13th. And Rasmus Pash, Nuno Rodriguez rounding out your top 15. Then we have Nick Lunt, Ape Grassoff, Des Blaine, Luke Wilson and Colin Herks rounding out your top 20. At the rear of your field then, you have Simeon Olisarisky. I believe that's how you say it. I'm very sorry if I probably butchered that completely. But Fernando Serrato, the last of your drivers, put in a lap time. Then at the very rear, we've got Ernie Wright. Jeremy Brewer did not put in a lap time. Daniel Nito entered the session rather close to the end of qualifying. I believe he was one of our reserve drivers. That's why. Oh no, we've now got 26 in the session, which is, yes, our full amount, which is perfect. So Daniel Nito entering the session right at the end. Now what we're going to do is, now that we've got everyone on the grid, is we're going to take the camera down towards our start-finish line here. And next to this butane gas sign, as we see everyone in front of the cameras. 1.5 minutes until we get going for our half-an-hour rookie race tonight. The Mazda MX-5s around Monza. One of my most hated circuits, I'm not going to lie. And good evening, Santurin. And welcome to the stream. Welcome everyone, of course, tonight. If you are enjoying, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We are about 1 minute away. 25 drivers will be looking down that starting grid, down towards the chicane. The pressure will be building for some of them. Others will be used to the pressure by now. Definitely those near the rear of your field are definitely not going to feel the pressure. They're going to feel very relaxed in their racing. As Quantinos, good evening as well. 30 seconds to go. So we will be seeing our lights up in about 15 seconds. And then we will be going green. 20 seconds, we can hear some engines starting to rev down on the track. And 15 seconds, here we go. The lights are up. We are about to get going. When they start counting, there they go. The lights start counting. We have 5, we have 6 red lights. And they are green. Everyone is away, and we have a nice start to the race. It looks like everyone's got away past our camera cleanly as we look towards the first chicane. Now this is gonna be where it gets interesting. Can everyone keep it clean? I'm gonna set up a stable camera here just to make sure, just to see a little cars locking up. But for the most part, actually, it looks like everyone's actually has got through that nice and cleanly. Yes, they have. A couple of side-by-sides near the rear of your field here. Nick Lunt running side-by-side with Hat Grassoff on the exit of the first chicane. But, amazingly, all of our drivers have got away from that nice and cleanly. Tariq and Mill trying to hold on to 6th position by the look of it. Or is that 5th? No, that is 5th he's trying to hold on to, but he's lost it to 6th with Jeff Tournier just up front. There's an overtake for 2nd position because Scott Nichols has been able to jump Matteo Caruso at the start. Locan Crosso was also able to get through, but Matteo back up to 3rd now, and it looks like there is a car off in the background. That's the first car that I've seen go around all session, so that is a great start to the lap. Only one car around, and someone's gone sideways all by themselves through the Lesmos, and that was a great hold by Jeff Tournier. He's been able to hold it nicely. He's now running side by side, not quite, but he's down to P number, I'm not too sure actually what position he's down to, but he's down a number of positions there. We're looking at Andy Dixie. He's trying to get involved here. He's running side by side with Brian Van Buskirman here, going up towards Ascari. They've also got a Mazda right in front of him, and it looks like Dixie is going to be able to take the inside. There's contact. It's been turned in, and there's a pile up going to Ascari as there's more cars collected. More cars just piling in. They should be focusing on the yellow flags. Andy Dixie finally get the car around. The drivers starting from the pit lane are coming up to that incident. But for the most part, it looks like drivers have now been sorted themselves out. But there's a big gap to your race leaders now with that. Scott Nichols already pulling a gap at your front of your field. Surato trying to hold the position. He's got Rodriguez on his outside. Can't do anything. I was expecting a first lap incident, but I'm surprised it took all the way to Ascari for that to actually happen here. Paul Glover trying on the outside line, and Colin Hurts can't do anything. Up towards the front of your field though. Here Crosse goes to get back 2nd position into the chicane. He's not going to be able to do it. He's going to try his hardest to get his nose in. Can't do it. Just behind though, we've got Tariq Gamil getting past. Akin Demuth runs too much at the apex. Demuth is going to be back through, and Gamil is going to have to hold on to 6th position for now, hoping to get through at some other point in the race. That's coming out of the chicane. As I'm looking further down your order, Serato still over of Rodriguez. Oh, we got another car around. That's Daniel Nito. Doesn't look like there was any contact. Just lost the rear end heading out of that chicane. We're looking at Demuth as he's going to try around the outside. Tariq Gamil, who's been able to get through on the exit of the chicane. He had a much better run, and now Demuth is going to be looking to get through. He moves to the outside of Lesmo. Gamil is going to be trying to keep his car as tight as possibly can. Demuth's going to look for like a switchback there. Couldn't quite do it. Now heading into Lesmo 2. Will he be able to get a better run down to Ascari? It's going to be interesting. Gamil pushes it to the edge of the circuit to move all over the rear here. But at the moment, down below, you've got 3 cars all in a very close proximity. That's Brian Buscummen just pulling away from Des Blaine actually now. And then that's Jeff Tournier just behind. But up front here goes Demuth side by side with Tariq Gamil into Ascari. We saw an incident like that last lap. This time, Demuth has got the clear overcut towards Gamil and has been able to get through that position. No contact involved. 3 cars involved in a battle going into Ascari though. Let's see if they can keep it clean. Paul Glover, he's got Colin Herx up his inside. He's able to hold the position, and Colin is going to drop behind quite sensibly not to get involved in into a collision there. Des Blaine, though, looking to get past Brian Van Buscummen as they're coming up towards Parabolica. Our cameraman can't keep this damn camera still as the cars are heading up towards Parabolica, and it looks like Bain is already going to have that position over Buscummen going into Parabolica. Nothing Van Buscummen can do on the outside line, and Des Bain up to P number 10 with that. Tariq Gamil down the position once more. He's going to look to the inside of Demuth. I keep on missing out on these overtakes between these 2 cars, but Gamil back through. Will Demuth be able to do anything? There's a little bit of a lock-up from Gamil, and it looked like it spooked. It definitely looked like it spooked Demuth off of the racing line just ever so slightly before he got back on. It's definitely a little bit of a wobble from Demuth just behind in this car. There's a whole collection of cars here running up towards chicane. It looks like they're going to keep it all nice and clean, but Colin Hertz looks up the inside of Rasmus Pash, doesn't do it. Grassoff's involved in that. Ernie Wright, Daniel Nito, Edward Januszewski, all these drivers were involved in that Ascari crash. Here comes Januszewski on the outside though of Ernie Wright. Looks like that is going to be a position gained for Januszewski. It is for now as we go have a little look at the cars ahead. Januszewski doesn't have significant overlap though, so we're going to go have a little look back towards that. To help chicane, there's also that battle just in front, and oh my god, what a dive bomb from Hap Garsoff. Is he going to leave enough room for Rasmus Pash? No, and Pash has hit him, and Pash has collected him again. Rasmus Pash pulling over to the side. That is a great demonstration of the golden rule. That certainly wasn't Pasha's fault, but he's decided to slow down, and he is going to allow Hap Garsoff to catch up, not to overtake. I think he might have been distracted from what car he was actually supposed to get through, but he's definitely slowed down, lost all that time, and he's going to have a little bit of a battle with Hap Garsoff there. Now Andy Dixie is also involved in a battle once more. This with Daniel Nito, but he's also got Januszewski all over the rear of him. Now up front, we're going to go have a little look because Matteo Caruso has been able to catch up to Scott Nichols for the lead of your motor race. It's about 7 minutes in. It's taken him quite a lot of time to get involved in this. Coming through, it looks like Caruso is going to be able to make that overtake. He's got the slightly faster speed, but what on earth is Nichols doing? He's squeezing, he's pushing Caruso to the right. He's leaving absolutely no room. That is certainly contact from Nichols' point. And look at this, he's just leaving no room whatsoever. And now Caruso is doing the right thing and forcing Nichols back over onto the racing line. I don't know what on earth Caruso was, that Nichols was thinking. He just turned right to push Caruso off of the line, off of the perfect line down to turn number 1. Scott Nichols being too defensive there. I must say, I do not like the look of that move one bit. It's not something that I would condone as Jeff Tournier off the circuit, unfortunately. But we've got Fernando Sorato all over the rear of Gaylor Clapano here as they head up towards the second chicane. Sorato moves to the outside of the swooping right-hander, but that's going to be the inside of the first left-hander of the chicane here, and it looks like he's already got significant overlap. In fact, he's already got the position, and the 71 is past the 87. Sorato up into P number 8 there. Rasmus Pash is all over the rear of Nick Lunt following the issues that he had. Also, that's actually another issue that Rasmus has had because he has dropped even further than he was before. I'm trying to find the driver that he had that issue with before, and I cannot remember who it was at the moment until I read the name. But here goes Pash up the inside of Daniel Nito. He backs out of it. See how many incident just last lap. He doesn't want to repeat that. And if I'm not mistaken, who did he have that incident with? It certainly wasn't either of the drivers behind him. I think it might have been with Colin Hurks. I believe it started with H. I'm not too sure, but on the exit of Lesmo 1, here comes Rasmus Pash to look for the inside. Can't quite do it. And can't do it through Lesmos 2 either. And now Lorcan Crosser is all over the rear of Scott Nichols. Nichols lost the lead of the race just last lap along this straight. And now Crosser looks like he's going to be trying to take second off of him as well. And would this be another overly defensive move by Scott Nichols? But Crosser decides to go to the outside line. He's got it. Will Scott Nichols squeeze him out on the inside this time? Sorry, on the outside this time onto the grass. It doesn't look like it. He's holding his ground in the middle of the track. Heading up towards chicane. Is it going to be a clean overtake for Crosset? He actually locks up slightly and he backs out. He's not going to attempt that move around the outside of turn number 1. Very smart indeed. But he gets a better exit. No, he doesn't because... okay, we're back. That was a very weird internet issue, I believe, for Lorcan Crosset, and I was thinking, wow, he's got some good exit there, but no, he doesn't quite. He's still over the rear of Scott Nichols, though, heading up towards the second chicane. He's going to be on the right-hand side, and he definitely has some internet-related issues here. He's going to try to make the move on the outside. No, he stays behind at the moment, heading up towards the Lesmos, though. This battle for the podiums is actually starting to close up with P number 4. Antonio Vinces is going to try and get involved. Of course, Vinces was knocked off of a top 3 in qualifying by this driver here, Crosser. So he's going to try and get involved and take that podium away in the race, the session where it really matters, coming through the exit of Lesmo 2. And just see how much Matteo Caruso has been able to pull away from Scott Nichols. Now he's been able to make that move through. I think that's about a second a lap at the moment that he's been able to pull away. And what's not helping is Nichols is under attack from Lorcan Crosset. He's got Vinces just behind as well, who's going to definitely get involved in that battle very, very shortly. So it could be a 3-way tie for a podium position, for second position, third position, and fourth position. And that's just going to allow Matteo Caruso to pull even further away. In 2 laps, he has it less than 2 laps. He's gained 2.3 seconds, and it is increasing with every single corner. But here comes Crosset up the inside of Scott Nichols into the Parabolica. He's got the position at the moment on our left-hand side, and he doesn't going into the corner because he was on the outside line. He can't do it at the moment. He's going to look for the better exit. This time it looks like he's going to go to the right-hand side of Nichols. That's going to be the inside into the chicane. Will Nichols go overly aggressive in his defending once more? No. This time he stands the middle ground. I think that's what he was doing with Caruso, not realising that Caruso already had that middle ground. And it looks like Crosset trying to get across onto the racing line. Nichols waiting until the last moment. Under braking, swoops back to the racing line. There's contact between them. And it looks like Crosset not able to get out of that ahead. He's going to be behind, but now he's got Antonio Vinces all over the rear. And the 3 of them are extremely close here in this battle for P number 2. And that's Scott Nichols leading Lorcan Crosset, leading Antonio Vinces. But we can see that Nichols really has quite a big car compared to the others. He's really able to show his defensive moves. And here now comes Crosset on the outside into the chicane. Not going to be able to do it. And that's going to be Vinces with contact. Luckily, Crosset is able to hold it together, but that's now lost them both a second. And that gap has now increased. I mean, I don't know what Vinces was trying to achieve there. He was too far back to make the move, and he left it way too late. I don't know what he was attempting to do, because now he has increased that gap in front of him to half a second. The gap in front of Crosset now almost 1.5 seconds, and the gap behind him has dropped to 1.5 seconds. So he has now, with that attempt of a move, has allowed Tariq Emil to get involved in this battle now, and Lorcan Crosset is definitely dropping off of Scott Nichols. But Scott Nichols continues to lose it from Matteo Caruso. I mean, he's only been behind for 3 laps now, and the gap has already increased to 4 seconds. This is crazy stuff by Matteo Caruso. We can see why he was able to qualify on pole by over half a second. We're going to go have a look at this battle here, though. 3 cars in extremely close proximity. I believe Nuno Rodriguez is the car on the right-hand side of the circuit. It is Gailo Capano just up ahead. And then that is Jeff Tournier, I believe, just behind. No, that's Brian Van Buscummen just behind, who's been able to get past Jeff Tournier, who loses down the positions. But we're kind of looking at Nuno Rodriguez. He's heading up towards the inside line, heading through Parabolica. Will he be able to hold that? Will he get enough significant overlap? He does, and he runs the car out wide to try and force Tournier off by the look of it. Can't quite do it, and Tournier back up the position now. Rodriguez back down the position. So this battle is actually my mistake between Jeff Tournier, Nuno Rodriguez and Brian Van Buscummen, but not anymore because Nuno Rodriguez is going to be up the inside of Jeff Tournier here. They're going to run side by side into the chicane. We're about halfway through the session now, as Rodriguez is going to be able to make that move. Tournier slows a lot more than I was expecting, but he was allowing Rodriguez through. Didn't want to battle that at all. Brian Van Buscummen then is going to try and maybe take advantage of the slower Jeff Tournier. See that Tournier doesn't overly defend his position, and maybe try to take advantage of that. 15 minutes down. 15 minutes to go, and there's a battle for P number 3. Antonio Vincent is on the outside of Lorcan. Corsa coming down the exit of Lesbo, and Corsa is going to actually drop behind. 1 minute. No, is that a back marker? No, it's not. That's Tariq Gamil, sorry. That's Tariq Gamil. So Tariq Gamil, like I was saying, has actually closed up to this battle, but it's actually now a battle between Tariq Gamil and Antonio Vincent for P4, because the top 4 are definitely increasing their gap following that contact from Vincent, and now Gamil's going to be on the inside of Vincent. He's not quite able to hold it through Ascari. Coming out though, he's going to get the slipstream heading down towards Parabolica. What's he going to do? He's going to stay in the slipstream on Vincent at the moment. He moves to the left-hand side, and I believe I just saw brake lights flash up from Vincent. I think he's allowing Gamil through. I don't know, I thought I saw brake lights. He's definitely lost the position along the straight. Now into Parabolica. Tariq Gamil up the position. We're going to go now right on board with Vincent as he heads through Parabolica. Just keeps it within track limits there. And now heading towards the line as we're going to go have a look at this battle here. 3 cars all very, very close indeed. Nino Rodriguez leading Jeff Tournier, leading Brian Van Buscummen. And it's going to be Jeff Tournier on the outside of Nuno Rodriguez. They're going to force each other wide at Parabolica. And now look at this. Here comes Buscummen up the inside. It's 3 wide on the exit of Parabolica. I want to be louder, but I absolutely can't because I have my nephew sleeping next door. But Jeff Tournier is on the outside heading up towards turn number 1. This is absolutely crazy. He's got Nuno Rodriguez on his right-hand side, who's got Jeff Tournier on his right-hand side. It's the 3 wide heading up towards turn number 1. Who's going to be the bravest? Who's going to have the biggest balls here going into turn number 1? I don't even know who's who at the moment. I can't remember their liveries, but Jeff Tournier is going to have the bigger balls, and there's contact. There is contact between the 3. You were expecting that. I really was. Nuno Rodriguez had the contact. Brian Buscummen comes ahead of those, though. But here comes Steve Bishop to take all 3 positions, as it looks like that is Nuno Rodriguez hitting the brakes following our golden rule, as I believe Jeff Tournier only just coming around. So that's great from Nuno Rodriguez following our golden rule to the T. He's still going through, and he's staying very predictable on the right hand side, and now he puts his foot down as Jeff Tournier makes the overtake down into 16th position, unfortunately. But that was crazy stuff. I don't know how they were expecting to go 3 wide into turn number 1. That was fantastic. Akin Demuth is going to look for a move past Fernando Serrato. We were looking at this battle at the start of the race, and it's continuing on almost 20 minutes in as Demuth leaves Serrato here. We're going to ride on board with Serrato as he loses time there to Demuth. But he's going to look to get some slipstream coming along out of Ascari, heading up towards Parabolica. As it looks like the gap has increased a lot, but the gap has certainly not increased between Januszewski and Nuno Rodriguez. So Rodriguez just involved in that incident. Of course, turn number 1 now under attack from Edward Januszewski as they head up towards Ascari. Januszewski on the outside. Rodriguez is going to hold it on the inside. There's no overlap for Januszewski. He's going to have to sit behind with that. There's absolutely no chance that he was going to be able to make that move as they come on the exit of Ascari. That gap only just slowing, sort of slowing down and shortening between them. It's getting slightly closer, but not too much. Rear of your field, you have your rookie staff members. That's just Pash, Roop, Wilson, 21st and 22nd. It's you're doing a great job to show that us staff members are good at sim racing. Of course, it's not always about winning, it's just about taking part, having fun, and that's exactly what all of us like to do. I mean, the reason you'll see me behind the commentary box more than you'll see me involved in races is because I enjoy commentating races not as much, much more than I enjoy racing them. Nuno Rodriguez is going to go on the attack back past Edward Janosweski heading into the first chicane, and Rodriguez is going to be able to do it. Janosweski, nothing he's able to do at the moment to get through. And now on the exit of the first chicane, Nuno Rodriguez back ahead of Janosweski, who's able to get through through the parabolica, I believe, as we continue through. 10 minutes to go then, so 20 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. As we have Matteo Corsa in the lead by about 5 seconds ahead of Scott Nichols. Then we have Lorca and Crosse in third, and then this battle is still raging on for P number 4 between Antonio Vinces and Tariq Gamil, but the gap between Vinces and Crosse has increased to 6.5 seconds, but the gap between Vinces and Gamil is non-existent because Gamil and Vinces are side by side heading up towards Parabolica. Not anymore, because Gamil is through, Vinces is behind. He's going to look for the inside into the Parabolica. We ride on board. Not enough room being left by Gamil. Extremely defensive there, doing extremely well. Both of them pushing to the limits. Vinces slides the car a little bit, and with that he's going to be losing a lot of time. He moves to the right hand side of the course, the shortest way possible. Coming along here, can't do anything, but just behind them is Sorato and Demuth, and they're catching up to that battle for P number 4, but Sorato on the inside line to Demuth, trying to go back through up the position. He's currently got that position technically. There you go, into P number 6, P number 7 just behind Akim Demuth. Is he going to be able to hold on the outside line? No, and Sorato is back up the position. So these two drives. Oh, Sorato gets a bit too much apex, and now he is going to be under attack once more for Akim Demuth, and they're going to be side by side on the exit of the first chicanes here. As, like I was saying quickly though, they are catching up to that battle for P number 4, so if they stop battling too much, they could get a P number 4 in this race, but they're going to be wanting that P number 4, so they're not going to allow each other through and to work together. I don't think I'm going to see that at all from these two drivers. Sorato though is going to be trying his hardest. He is behind though. Akim Demuth back up going into the second chicane, and we're going to ride on board with Sorato, and Demuth goes big sideways through the exit of the second chicane, heading up to the Lesmo. Sorato is on the inside, and looks like he's going to be able to get that. He is already through up to P number 6, and these two drivers have just slowed each other down a little bit too much. That has allowed Gamil and Vinces to gain away, and they're rather close as well. Gamil and Vinces, so keep on having a look at that. A big slide from Akim Demuth. What a hold on the exit of Lesmo number 2. That must have been complete opposite lock. That was absolutely wonderful to watch as Vinces, we hear, come off the throttle before Ascari doesn't go for the move. He's going to go for the move heading up towards Parabolica. He didn't want to make that move through Ascari, so he decides to stay behind. He's in the slipstream heading down along the straight. As our cameraman still not learning how to hold that camera steady to watch his cars head along the main straight here. It's great to see battling like this heading up towards Parabolica. Vinces still behind. He's probably going to try and do it into turn number 1 then. That's definitely the major overtaking location on this entire circuit, down to turn number 1. You've got so much slipstream heading down there. It's really your best opportunity, and it's such a long straight heading down there that you can get side by side with the car and achieve significant overlaps to be able to make them move. Vinces though sitting behind now. He moves out and he's going to go on the inside of Gamil. They're going to be side by side. He's got that significant overlap that I was just talking about. He's going to get the position technically for us now, and he's up to P number 4, but will he be able to hold it into the chicane? He does. Gamil, not anything he's able to do. Now they're both respectful drivers. They know not to battle through that. If you see someone up the inside, just let the position go. As they are brake lights I see on the rear of Tariq Gamil, but I don't think he's actually touching the brakes. I think there may be some sort of issue with his brake pedal or something, because as you can see, his brake lights are on. Now, it may be because his lights are on and no one else's is, which is probably where I got the mistake. But here comes Gamil back up the inside into the second chicane. He's going to back out, though. But Vinces pushes it too hard, and there goes Gamil. Gamil scared Vinces into braking too late, and now that's allowed him up the position, back up to P number 4. And that is going to be Antonio Vinces back down to P number 5. Only 6 minutes to go in this session. This is absolutely fantastic, actually, because every single driver who started this race is actually still running. There's 24 cars still in the race today. It's fantastic to see. I believe that was 24 that started. As we get through, Vinces is going to be on the outside line with Tariq Gamil. He's actually going to be able to gain the position back up to P number 4. Will he be able to hold it? They're changing positions every now and then as they go into Ascari. He's going to back out. He's not going to be stupid, but it means that Gamil has had to go for a tighter line. It's going to be the slower line through Ascari. And now as he ride on board with Vinces, you can see he gets a much better exit. Gamil moves off the to the left-hand side immediately to get out, to make sure Vinces doesn't get his slipstream. But here comes Vinces to go through as they run side by side, heading up towards the Parabolica. Just 5 minutes going in this session, and this battle for P number 4 is still raging on. Sorato still catching up behind. Demuth dropping off a little bit. Vinces has got that inside line on Tariq Gamil now through the Parabolica. They're going to be running side by side on the exit. You see completely different sides of the circuits. Make sure they stay all clean. There's no contact. It looks like Gamil is currently ahead, but Vinces is by no means far behind. They've now still running side by side. Not anymore. Vinces drops back into slipstream. Is going to try and close up just that enough to make the move. As Gamil goes defensive, Vinces goes to the outside. Will he achieve significant overlap and be able to make the move on the outside? He breaks a lot later, and oh my god, Vinces is just be able to make the move on the outside of the first chicane. That's fantastic. I think Gamil was not expecting that, bearing in mind he moved over to allow Vinces to go onto the outside line. He went very defensive, and just having a break earlier meant that Vinces was able to get through nice and easily as we're running on board with Tariq Gamil, and then going up to the second chicane. There's going to be yet another overtake in this battle, and it's allowed Sorato to gain to about a second behind them. They now head up into this second chicane, still running side by side. Tariq Gamil has already got that position covered, already got that position gained. As we're going to go run on board just very quickly for Fernando Sorato, because he's got a beautiful view of this battle ahead. Vinces goes to the outside line of Tariq Gamil into Lesmos, and it's actually allowed Sorato to close right onto the rear. And now it is a 3-car battle. Demuth still 3.5 seconds behind, so Sorato is really able to pull away from Akim Demuth there. Coming through Lesmo 2, both Vinces and Sorato pushes are off the circuit. Vinces a lot more slow though, kicking up some of the grass with that as well. Heading up towards Ascari. This battle has just been raging on here. 3 minutes to go, and here goes Vinces. There's contact, big contact! And Sorato moves to the outside. Both of the drivers behind though through. They've got it back straight. Tariq Gamil not losing too much time, but I think that was Gamil going too defensive. Vinces on that inside line, and Gamil just moves over just a bit too much to get involved with that. But here comes behind as we finally get to go and have a little look at another battle. Brian van Beskummen on the outside of Stig Bistrup as Tariq Gamil is actually going to make the move back through past Antonio Vinces. So these drivers, even after that huge contact, have got involved in this battle once more. That's all it's done actually is allowed Sorato to gain up through, because that's Sorato right there. Both drivers, I believe Gamil actually spun, yet they're still involved in this battle. All it's allowed is Demuth to catch up. So this is actually still now a 4-car battle going on. In that battle between Stig Bistrup and Brian van Buskommen, it looks like Stig has been able to hold on to the position at the moment. No, it's Brian's. They are still battling, but I want to watch this. Look at how far all 3 cars are on the right-hand side of the circuit. Then they boom, the driving line, the left-hand side for them, the right-hand side for us on our cameras. Tariq Gamil, though, is going defensive on Vinces once more. These two are just really going head and tails here. That was amazing to see. As continuing to go through now. Sorato doing a good job to get through past Gamil and Vinces during that incident. He moved right to the right-hand side, came off the accelerator, made sure he ran onto the grass, didn't spin it, and kept on going. as Akindamuth behind this battle is now the driver to watch, to run on board with, because that's going to be Vinces off the circuit. That's going to be Vinces down off the circuit, pushing too hard to regain the positions, down a P6. As we're going to go have a look once more at this battle here between Stig Bistro and Brian Van Boskommen, because it definitely is a very close one indeed. Stig is on the outside line, I believe. Yes, he is. He's got Brian up his inside. Brian braking very late there, but he actually runs a perfect racing line. Stig Bistro having to leave the room for that position to be gained. Tariq Gamil, though, is going to be running side by side with Fernando Sorato to move back up the position. Will Sorato be able to hold it? It doesn't look like it going to Ascari. He's had to drop off already. And Fernando Sorato already down. Jeremy Brewer is going to be able to get past Ernie Wright, who's just made a mistake and ran off the circuit. We're looking on board with Fernando Sorato, though. He's got Tariq Gamil right in front of him. He's going to be able to attempt to move back up to P number 4 here, coming up towards the parabolica. Just 30 seconds to go. And he is going to be on the inside line here. Going into the final turn. There he goes. Fernando Sorato is not going to be able to hold it. Tariq Gamil is going to push as hard as he can on the outside line. But at the moment it's Sorato. But here comes Gamil all over the rear. Already there's contact. Tamil has completely taken out Sorato into the wall. Gamil's moved off of the racing line, slowed down, and is allowing Sorato to make back the move. And that is pure gentleman driving. It's just... the issue is with bump drafting in these events is that the contact in Assetto Corsa is very weird, and it can really throw you off of just a little tap can really throw you off. But this is a driver that we've not been looking at pretty much at all. He qualified on pole. He dropped it to 3rd out of the first few corners, but was able to fight back into 2nd. He lost a lot of time to Scott Nichols, but after catching back up within about 2 laps, he got through past Scott Nichols, and the time just increased and increased. And since then, it's been holding steady at about 7 to 8 seconds as it fluctuates between the 2 times. He's been doing absolutely fantastic with his lead. He's done an absolutely amazing, clean race indeed as he's coming up towards Ascari here. He's on the final lap of the race. It's been an amazing race for Matteo Caruso. Again, a new name for me. I've not commentated or raced against the Matteo Caruso, so it's nice to see that we have got rookies taking part in these events and they're doing well in them as well. Lorcan Crosse, also a new name for me, looks like he's going to be coming home in 3rd, as we will go through the entire race results after everyone crosses that line. But we're currently looking at Matteo Caruso with our cameraman that seems to be drunk heading up towards Parabolica. Coming through though into Parabolica, Matteo Caruso, pole into your race victory. He's done an absolutely flawless race here, apart from I think the first 2 corners. He dropped down, but he got straight back up again. He got straight back into the fight, didn't let anything get him down, and Matteo Caruso wins. As we're now looking at Nuno Rodriguez and Roop Wilson battle it out here on their final lap of the race. This is for P number 20. We just saw Nuno get back through, and Nuno was the one that was in a top 10 before the accident at turn number 1, where we saw 3 drivers attempt to go 3 wide into the first chicane. As we're going to go have a look, I believe Tariq Gamil has finished just crossing the line. Tariq Gamil finishes just behind Fernando Sorato, but it was really nice to see that he did get that position back. It would have been a 4th for Sorato if that contact hadn't come, but Damuth taking full advantage of it and gets the 4th. We're looking at this battle here now between Nick Luntz and Edward Janeski, as it looks like they've sort of sorted themselves out. We're going to have a run on board with Roop Wilson. Then he was battling with Nuno Rodriguez, but coming to the end of that, it doesn't look like he will actually be battling with Nuno coming through up towards the final turn. It's been an absolutely amazing race, so it looks like Andy Dixie is going to be trying to get past Jeremy Brewer on the line. He moves to the left and he can't. There is a car stopped on the line. I seem to have accidentally kicked something. There was a car stopped on the line that we flew past. I was very confused at that, as drivers now crossing the line here. Everyone goes across and we're about to be sent across to our race results, because that's exactly what we want to see. So here is the race results following almost everyone crossing the line. 2 more cars that to cross the line by the look of it. Matteo Caruso was your race winner tonight. Scott Nichols finished in 2nd. Lorcan Crosse finished in 3rd position, with Akim Dumuth in 4th. 5th position was Fernando Sorato. Tariq Gamil finished in 6th, with Antonio Vincas in the end crossing the line in 7th with those bits of contact and a few mistakes. Gay Local Plano finished in 8th, with Brian Van Buskirchen in 9th, and Stig Bistrup running out your top 10. Ernie Wright finishes in 11th. Jeremy Brewer crosses the line in 12th, followed by Andy Dixie, Jeff Tournier, Paul Glover, Edward Januski, Des Bain, Nick Lunt, Colin Hurts, and Nuno Rodriguez running out your top 20 at the rear then. Roop Wilson, Rasmus Pass, Daniel Nito, and Simeon Olisgaras. And we did see Hap Grassoff disappear. I was going to say, who did... that was the driver that got involved in that early lap battle. The contact, it was with Hap Grassoff. And I can't remember what that I was on about at that point. But I know that someone was involved with a battle with that Hap Grassoff, and it looks like he quit following that incident, unfortunately. But what a race it's been. I mean, seriously, it's been absolutely fantastic. I hope you guys have all enjoyed it. And I know I had some internet issues at the very start of the stream, but come to the end, it looks like we stabilised a lot. I think that was probably one of the best Mazda races that I've come across, really, because it's the first time that I've actually seen other people battling, because normally I'm the one racing in the Mazdas, but not this time. Anyway, though, we will be going live once again on Sunday for Race Room Sunday. That'll be DTM's at Moscow, if I'm not mistaken. So be sure to join us then. We've also currently got streams planned for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday so far. But I'm sure we'll also have some streams planned for the end of the week. But they're yet to be announced, the threads. So the streams are yet to be announced. Be sure to join us next week, though, for all of our lovely events. Be sure to join me on Sunday for Race Room Sunday. Be sure to like this video and to subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.